Here is Hillary Clinton being confronted by a reporter about the accusations.
Hillary, Laura Collins, Daily Mail. Did you pay to spy on the Trump campaign? When are you going to comment on the spying allegations, Hillary? Did you pay for having spied on?
Did you pay to have him spied on? The answer is no, she didn't. She waved at him, though. She was very nice. Let's break this down. Exactly what happened. Now, I didn't do a good job last night of really delving in to what the Durham filing actually was. The accusation now seems to be that before Trump took office, there was a lawyer who lied to the FBI about his connection to Hillary Clinton. He has been charged in the Durham investigation. He's pleaded not guilty. And that he had a guy that he was connected to that worked for a tech firm that had been hired by the federal government during the Obama administration to assess security flaws in the White House security. And that he provided publicly available information to the FBI about this ping on a server owned by Trump by Alpha Bank. I think I did a good job of breaking that down. Let's go to this insider piece. What you need to know about the John Durham filing that Trump world is fuming over. Fuming is the right word. Right-wing media sphere erupted this week over a legal filing from the special counsel John Durham, who was investigating the origins of the FBI's Russia probe that former President Donald Trump and his allies said presented definitive proof that his political opponents illegally spied on him. The insider even used spied in quotations. Trump declared in a statement that the filing provided indisputable evidence. Once again, it's not indisputable evidence, it's a claim. It's a claim in a legal filing. My campaign and presidency were spied on by operatives paid by the Hillary Clinton campaign in an effort to develop a completely fabricated connection to Russia, adding that such conduct would have been punishable by death in a stronger period of time in this country. Trump's claim that such activity would have at any time in American history been punishable by death is false and misleading, since the only crime Durham has accused anyone of committing is lying to the FBI. No one involved in the investigation has been charged with illegally spying on the Trump campaign or White House or with a capital crime. It's a cult. It's a cult, Porgo. That's all I never got it to begin with. And here's the thing is I even said it during the 2016 election. I always liked Trump. I enjoyed when he would go on David Letterman, and David Letterman would make fun of him and shit, you know? We all had a fun time making fun of Trump. But anybody that from the get-go decided to support that clown is stupid, is a complete fucking moron. But hey, right-wingers are morons. And just for posterity here.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Well, apparently with the Home Alone, with this cameo in Home Alone 2, wasn't it because they filmed inside his hotel and he requested that he have a cameo in the movie? He was known to do that if you filmed on his property or some shit, if I'm not mistaken. I might be. Brains like Swiss cheese. Filing contains almost no new information. It was an indictment, meaning that no new criminal conduct was alleged. Instead, it relates to a conflict of interest matter in Durham's ongoing case against Sussman, worked at a law firm, Perkins Co., which represents the Democratic National Committee. Sussman was charged last year with lying to the FBI while trying to get it to investigate an allegation that the Trump campaign used a secret email server to communicate with Russia's Alpha Bank during the 2016 campaign. FBI has not uncovered any evidence of such a connection. Durham's Friday filing said there's a potential conflict because the law firm representing Sussman, Latham Watkins, previously represented Perkins Co. And the lawyer Mark Elias, who testified before Durham's grand jury. It also details a February 2017 meeting in which Sussman flagged to the CIA that internet data he had obtained suggested someone using a Russian-made smartphone was connecting to White House and Trump Tower networks. New York Times reported on this meeting last year. Filing says Sussman got the data from an unnamed technology executive who Durham said exploited DNS traffic to gauge if there was a link between the Trump campaign and Russian operatives during the 2016 election. Multiple media outlets have reported that the executive is Rodney Joffe, who works at the American tech company Newstar. Durham's filing said some of the internet data that was mined was connected to 2 Trump buildings in New York City, the executive office of the president, and an unrelated Michigan hospital company that had also interacted with the Trump server. Added that Joffe had access to this data because his employer had a set of dedicated servers for the White House as part of a sensitive arrangement in which it provided DNS resolution services to the White House. Yes, Biff was 100% based on Donald Trump in the Back to the Future movie. Yes, Obama shouldn't have made fun of him at that dinner. Oh my God. Like, he had flirted with running for president since the 80s. But apparently it was the correspondence dinner in what? 2011, 2012? I don't even remember the year it was. Where Obama made fun of him. And they were funny jokes, too. Yeah, I think that was a common thing. Anytime you filmed in Trump Tower, you had to have Trump appear in your movie. Because he's gotta have that ego stroked. As Durham pointed out in the filing, these DNS lookups started as early as 2014, when Barack Obama was in office, and continued until early 2017. Lawyers for one of the researchers who worked with Joffe highlighted that in a statement to the Times, the cybersecurity researchers were investigating malware in the White House, not spying on the Trump campaign, and to our knowledge, all of the data they used was non-private DNS data from before Trump took office. A spokesperson for Joffe told NBC News that, contrary to the allegations in this recent filing, he had legal access to the DNS data under a contract that allowed Newstar to comb through the data, including from the White House, to look for security threats. A result of the Russian government's hacks of EOP, and that's the Executive Office of the President, and DNC servers in 2015 and 2016, respectively, there were serious and legitimate national security concerns about Russian attempts to infiltrate the 2016 elections. These are outlined in the Senate Intelligence Committee report. Upon identifying DNS queries from Russian-made Yota phones in proximity to the Trump campaign and the EOP, respected cybersecurity researchers were deeply concerned about the anomalies they found in the data and prepared a report of their findings, which was subsequently shared with the CIA. The Washington Post reported that internet providers frequently let third parties collect DNS lookups because the information can be helpful for tracking bad actors. DNS services like the one offered by Newstar essentially monitor your traffic in the event that you might be sent to a malicious site. This is according to Kareem Hajizi, the CEO of the cybersecurity firm Pavilion, and a former intelligence community contractor. They'll stop the traffic, limit it, or redirect it to somewhere safe. So by definition, if you're using a service like Newstar's, your activity is being monitored because that's what you're buying. Durham's filing noted that the lookups took place on a broader scale as well. According to the filing, Sussman claimed the lookups demonstrated that Trump and or his associates were using supposedly rare Russian-made wireless phones in the vicinity of the White House and other locations. But The more complete data that Joffe and his associates gathered reflected that between approximately 2014 and 2017, there were a total of more than 3 million lookups of Russian phone provider, one IP address. Of Russian phone provider, one IP addresses that originated with U.S.-based IP addresses. Fewer than 1,000 of those lookups came from IP addresses affiliated with Trump Tower. The information Durham laid out raises questions about the ethics of Joffe using the data his company had legal access to for purposes that went beyond the scope of what the firm was hired to do. And it's true that Durham has alleged that criminal conduct occurred, but the crime that's being alleged is lying to the FBI, not domestic political espionage or anything related to spying or hacking. Doesn't mean Durham won't bring more serious charges down the line related to Democratic efforts to establish a Trump-Russia link, or that Sussman and his source didn't behave unethically. It just means that Friday's filing doesn't lay out any such efforts that would constitute what Trump has implied is treasonous conduct punishable by death. What's up, Starcraving? Welcome. So I really wanted to delve into the minutiae of that because it's a complicated story, and I can't tell that there is anything untoward about what happened to Trump. He definitely didn't get spied on, as he is alleged. But publications like the New York Post are alleging that the Washington Post and the New York Times need to hand back their Pulitzers for Russia-Trump reporting. An editorial piece in the New York Post with the entire Russiagate affair exposed as a Clinton campaign fabrication. Not true at all. Once again, anytime somebody says Russiagate, I want a definition of what they mean by Russiagate. Because the Senate Intelligence Committee report definitely says there were links between the Trump campaign and Russia. Yes, the New York Post is a very questionable source owned by Rupert Murdoch. It's clear, it's the clear duty of the Washington Post and the New York Times to give back the Pulitzers they won for reporting the fake news. Reporting on allegations is not fake news. Reporting on the Steele dossier's existence is not fake news. That's a problem that I have with right-wingers. Like, oh, they reported misinformation. No, the Steele dossier was real. It existed. Media outlets reporting on it isn't fake news. Clinton campaign cash ordered up the Steele dossier. Not true. With Democratic operatives providing some of the rumors and a cynical Russian exile asking buddies to supply rank speculation for the rest. This is the Republican Senate intelligence report. The committee found the Russian government engaged in an aggressive, multifaceted effort to influence or attempt to influence the outcome of the 2016 election campaign. Or the presidential election. Parts of this effort are outlined in the committee's earlier volumes on election security, social media, and the Obama administration's response to the threat. The fifth and final volume focuses on the counterintelligence threat, outlining a wide range of Russian efforts to influence the Trump campaign in the 2016 election. In this volume, the committee lays out its findings in detail by looking at many aspects of the counterintelligence threat posed by the Russian influence operations. For example, the committee examined Paul Manafort, campaign manager for Donald Trump, and his connections to Russian influence actors in the FBI's treatment of reporting produced by Christopher Steele. While the committee does not describe the final result as a complete picture, this volume provides the most comprehensive description to date of Russia's activities and the threat they posed. This is far more damning than the Mueller report. I highly recommend people go and read up on this. including Paul Manafort's connections to Russia and Ukraine. Beginning while he was campaign chairman and continuing until at least 2018, Manafort discussed with Klimnik a peace plan for eastern Ukraine that benefited the Kremlin. After the election, Manafort continued to coordinate with Russian persons, particularly Klimnik, and other individuals close to Deripaska in an effort to undertake activities on their behalf. Remember, this was Trump's campaign manager for a brief period. The committee found that Manafort's presence on the campaign and proximity to Trump created opportunities for Russian intelligence services to exert influence over and acquire confidential information on the Trump campaign. I usually go about two and a half hours, sometimes longer. I've still got a few more things to talk about. People actually ask me to go longer. Streamers on Twitch tend to go like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours at a time. I do a lot of prep work for the show, so it's hard to go that long, but I've been on stream when we've been doing presidential debates, committee hearings and shit. I don't have much to partake on Stark Raving, so I'm saving it for after the show. Otherwise, I'd smoke up. Other Clintonites actually hacked Trump's computers. Not true. Not true. Not true. This is a false claim. Including White House ones after he took office to create another smear, as special counsel John Durham's latest filing revealed. Not true. No hack happened. That's all there ever was, a Team Clinton scheme to make her email scandal look tame by comparison, and so win the 2016 election, followed by a longer drive to cripple the new president. It was a true war on democracy, abetted by the two papers in endless, breathless reporting. Their Pulitzer Awards say the papers dramatically furthered the nation's understanding of Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election and its connections to the Trump campaign. Now, everyone knows they only dramatically furthered a smear. Wrong! New York Post. Completely misrepresenting exactly what was going on. So now we turn to Mother Jones, which is reporting that is John Durham deliberately stoking right-wing conspiracy theories? Spoiler alert, yes. Special counsel John Durham's investigation of the origins of the Trump-Russia scandal has turned into a conspiracy theory-generating machine for feverish right-wingers. And his latest filing raises the question of whether that is by design. A few days ago, Durham, appointed by Trump Attorney General William Barr, filed what normally is a routine and technical motion in a legal proceeding as part of his case against Michael Sussman, a Democratic lawyer who Durham has indicted for allegedly lying to the FBI or to an FBI official. Now, even the lie he supposedly told is kind of tenuous. Filing concerned a possible conflict of interest involving Sussman's attorneys, but the motion included several paragraphs of supposed factual background that exploded within right-wing media. It led to a Fox News story with a dramatic headline, Clinton campaign paid to infiltrate Trump Tower, White House servers to link Trump to Russia, Durham fines. Other conservative outlets followed suit. The Washington Examiner howled, Durham says Democratic allied tech executives spied on Trump's White House office. Donald Trump got into the act. He issued a statement claiming Durham's latest filing provides indisputable evidence that my campaign and presidency were spied on. All this hyperbolic harumphing, I love that word, harumphing, call it disinformation, arises from imprecision and perhaps false information in Durham's filing. Durham's case is based on the allegation that during a 2016 meeting with the FBI General Counsel James Baker, Sussman, who was sharing with the Bureau information assembled by cyber researchers that raised the prospect of an unusual computer link between a Trump-related business and the Kremlin-linked Alpha Bank, lied when he said he wasn't representing the Clinton campaign related related to this matter. Sussman denies this charge. The conflict of interest filing, apparently Sussman wasn't working for Clinton at the time, but went on to work for Clinton. Apparently. Durham referenced a meeting that Sussman had on February 9th, 2017 with the CIA, in which he presented an updated set of allegations that included information compiled by a tech executive named Rodney Joffe and other researchers. Joffe and the others believed they had come across cyber data called DNS lookups that indicated suspicious links between both Trump Tower and the White House and a Russian mobile phone provider. Durham claimed that Sussman told the CIA, as the document characterizes the conversation, that these lookups demonstrated that Trump and or his associates were using supposedly rare Russian-made wireless phones in the vicinity of the White House and other locations. Special counsel's office has identified no support for these allegations. In recent filing, Durham also suggested that Joffe had been working on behalf of the Clinton campaign without providing specifics about the nature of any such relationship, and that Joffe had exploited his access to non-public and or proprietary internet data for his research work. Durham alleged that Joffe's company had come to access and maintain dedicated servers for the White House as part of a sensitive agreement whereby it provided DNS resolution services to the White House, and that Joffe and his associates exploited this arrangement for the purpose of gathering derogatory information about Donald Trump. Putting together all the allegations and suggestions, a tech executive, possibly tied to the Clinton campaign, exploiting data related to the White House and the Trump Tower, right-wing journalists reached a dramatic conclusion that Clintonites hacked Trump at his home or office and at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and spied on him. But this leap was based on cyber ignorance and possibly misinformation presented by Durham. Researching DNS lookups is not hacking a server. It is tracking the pattern of connections between servers and computers or smartphones. This is similar to what the NSA, how they got around the spying on Americans. They're just seeing the calls that are made. They're not actually listening in on your calls, was their contention. Researchers examining the DNS data were not infiltrating anything. Lawyers for Joffe and David Dagan, a Georgia Institute of Technology data scientist who helped develop the research Sussman shared with the CIA, have challenged Durham's representations. Dagan's attorneys note that the DNS logs examined related to the Russian phone service came from the time of Barack Obama's presidency. That appears credible given that Sussman's meeting with the CIA was only 3 weeks after Trump had taken office. They told the New York Times that Dagan and associates were using non-private DNS data and were investigating malware in the White House, not spying on the Trump campaign. Joffe, too, said that his research was focused on whether Russian malware had infected the White House and the Trump campaign. Trump's campaign office was in Trump Tower, as the New York Times reports. On Monday, Sussman's lawyers filed a response to Durham's conflict of interest motion that insisted the research discussed at the CIA meeting pertained only to the period of time before Mr. Trump took office, when Barack Obama was president. The filing also claimed that Durham was well aware of this, suggesting that the special counsel had purposefully fudged this particular and critical point. Sussman's legal team in this document accused Durham of making a filing in this case that unnecessarily includes prejudicial and false allegations that are irrelevant to his motion and to the charged offense, and are plainly intended to politicize this case, inflame media coverage, and taint the jury pool. You know, I've never watched Game of Thrones, and apparently, by the way it ended, I made a good decision. But the lady I was dating at the time when Game of Thrones was on, apparently she was really into it. Sussman and others who are part of the investigation should not be taken at their word, but it's clear from Durham's own filing that there is no evidence that Trump and White House servers were infiltrated. Charge originated with Kash Patel, a one-time aide to Representative Devin Nunes, and pro-Trump operative who has long toiled to discredit the Trump-Russia scandal. Discussing the Durham motion, he made an inaccurate claim to Fox that the document showed that Clinton lawyers had tried to infiltrate Trump Tower and White House servers. Ultimately, the fault of this phony bombshell rests with Durham. His filings did not specify the exact time period the DNS lookup research covered. It did not include sufficient details of the alleged links between Joffe and the Clinton campaign to provide a clear picture, and a central issue remains a matter of dispute between Durham and Sussman, Joffe and the researchers. What allegations did Sussman present to the CIA? Durham maintains that Sussman and the researchers were falsely claiming that Trump and his crew were using Russian-made wireless phones as part of an underhanded effort to tar Trump with a nefarious connection to Moscow. The researchers say their concern was Russian security breaches of the Obama White House and the Trump campaign. This seems to be a question that Durham could easily resolve with a piece or two of evidence if he wanted to.